Now on to this one. EA Sports, we have a problem. More doom and gloom from the FC community. This time, Matt HD Gamer. This is recommended to me in my Discord by Spartan. So you can check this out to see what Matt HD Gamer has to say. As always, before I continue, the link to the video will be in the description box below and in the Twitch chat. Always show the original creator some love and credit for their video. Always, always, always.
Problems. The community is in uproar. The game is already half price on the store, and after 18 patches already, we find ourselves in one of the weirdest phases in Ultimate Team history. For cheap, fast, and reliable FC26 coins, use MMOEXP.com. The link is down below. And use the code MATTHD to get 8% off your order. You can even buy players and packs too. If you played FC26 recently, and in the last 2 months especially, you'll know that this gameplay has become unplayable at the highest level, at every level, at casual level. It is in shambles right now. We have a game right now, November, that every single game you see the exact same goal. Low driven, low driven, low driven. I've never seen a FIFA game have this little creativity when scoring a goal. In football, in real life, every single goal is different. Yet in FC26, every goal.
Wanna know why that's the situation? The community. Yes, again, I'll say this right here. EA can nerf low drivens to where they can't be so freaking automatic and can't be so oppressive. They can do that. The hope there will be that they don't nerf it to the grounds where it's useless, but I feel like they could find a balance with low drivens to where they're still good but not oppressive. They can be abused. At the same time, the community itself has to be willing to just play football instead of just trying to spam in football. Those are different things. The community has to be willing to not spam in the game. You know, I say this a lot. There's things EA can do, but a lot of the issues we all have in this game that's not, you know, under the hood when it comes to servers and gameplay is all goes back to that one word: community. The community chooses to play a certain way, and that creates a frustration that we all have.
Is seemingly the exact same into the bottom corner. And of course, everyone uses the same striker, Claudia Pina. Where are the days of having cheap players, of having mid players, different styles of players that actually scored goals and different goals every game? Think about it. You don't see people using Haaland in most teams. You don't see people using Gokas.
You want to know why? Because heading is dead. This is a community that wants to find ways to abuse mechanics to have success. If heading was very, very good in this game, you would see Haaland and Gyökeres in every single team. Just like 2 years ago. S24, most teams were Haaland, Drogba, a lot of Drogba. There's a lot of basically just have a tall guy you can cross the ball to, or a header goal, GG's. That's how people play at 25. That's 25, 24. 25 was just Trivela spam. 24 was crossing meta. 25 was Trivela meta. This year is low driven meta. People are going to resort to whatever the most broken way to win, have success is in the game. That's just people do. They will figure out whatever the most broken thing to do in the game. At the same time, people use players who they're told to use by content creators. So unless in the world where people that make videos on YouTube, you would see a very, very different style of play when it comes to FC, because you see people who are building squads based on who they pack, trying them out, and be like, okay, I like this player, and they'll just use that player. But because this exists, this space, this sphere of content creation exists, people can see who they should use and who people are telling them to use. You know, if foot.gg and EasySBC and all these, you know, social media pages are saying, hey, use this formation, use these players, what people are going to do? Okay. I'm going to use these players, this formation, because that's what I was told to use by a pro player. That's what I'm going to do. A community of followers, no leaders, people who just copy, and they complain about the fact that everyone's doing the exact same thing.
You don't see people using Isaac. Every player is using Claudia Pina. And more importantly, every game feels the exact same. But why is this now the case? I want to show you something which honestly might blow you away. We're going back here 9 years ago. Now this is FIFA 17 gameplay, and this will shock you because in FIFA 26, every goal does feel the same. There's no unique aspect of scoring a goal now in Ultimate Team. I might have some of the most hours spent on this game so far, and I can categorically tell you, I've actually not...
Give me a second.
scored a single corner header at all in this game. I'm not joking. I used to score loads of corner headers or every now and then. Now I don't score them. I simply do not score a header from a cross or a corner. Not one, and we're 2 months in. But I want to take you to a point here where gameplay was the best I think it's ever been in Ultimate Team. Literally every goal here you'll see is beyond belief different. Look at the passing, look at the gameplay, look at the dribbling. You could score a low finesse shot back then. You can't really now. You could get around the goalkeeper. Look at the different kind of goals I was scoring here and the unique aspect of each goal. It is mind-blowing how different this was back then. And what's crazy about this gameplay is that honestly now, I think this looks fantastic. EA absolutely smashed this gameplay out of the park. They hardly patched this gameplay back then either. The launch gameplay here was stunning. I could not stop watching gameplay videos back in the day.
We did a horrible job opening this
I
freaking track.
couldn't stop playing Weekend League. I actually loved it. And again, the different kind of goals we were scoring back here was unreal. And this was 9 years ago. But look at some of the different goals I'm scoring, even from free kicks. A delicate little pass there. We now have the chance outside the box. All the intricate passing, I'm calm and patient, and bang, I score on the right-hand side. Again, you're not seeing the same goal every time, are we? At all. Even the AI movement back there was so superior. They actually had a great game here, and I never understand to this day why they went away from FIFA 17 gameplay. This is a time where you'd actually go and watch the pro esports tournaments live because the gameplay was so...
I'm in the middle of eating, but in the previous video, I talked about how the A9 skills video reaction that I did. Talked about how a lot of what you'll hear people say about nowadays is like, this is how things were back in the past. And it's like, even from like a visual standpoint, it's all rose tinted freaking like glasses, right? Like, you remember it being that good, but I can guarantee you back then there were moments in the game where it pissed you off, you know? Like, it's guaranteed. I can guarantee you situations in even during those exact gameplays he's showing, even some opponents probably like, yo, this guy is doing this, and I hate it.
Enjoyable. The pros were doing amazing things with the gameplay, and it was honestly so exciting to watch. And I guarantee you now, if EA didn't do those live rewards on those pro tournaments, you would see a massive difference, because I believe that most players don't go out of their way to watch those pro level tournaments now unless they're rewards, whereas back then the gameplay was so fun to watch. But look how much better the gameplay
I would say that's how it is for all games that have drops. We finished chewing. I play Rainbow Six Siege, I play a number of other games, and all those games have pro leagues, and they all have drops. And in the chat, every time I look at the chat, it's people who are doing exclamation point drops, people who are going, hey, how come my drops aren't working? If you took off drops from Twitch in general, you will see a decline in a lot of freaking games viewership because people just want those drops, not just FC, just in general.
actually looks as well. Dribbling was fantastic. Through balls were great, but even going further back in time here to a game like FIFA 14, look at the passing we could do there. Look, and even the graphics look really cool. And again, powerful shot top left, different goal to this game. Lo and behold, corner, bang, we can score those goals. That was over 11 or 12 years ago. This next goal is telling as well, because when do you ever see a half volley goal in Ultimate Team now? You simply don't. I believe that the gameplay developers here actually played the gameplay a lot more, in my opinion, than the current developers, because the lack of creativity when scoring a goal in this game is truly unbelievable. Pro players must be just scratching their heads every day they play this game, thinking, wow, I am playing this game, it's mind-numbing every day. And I guarantee you're probably feeling the same way. You have to play in one certain style in this game in order to be successful, because even back then there were meta things, right? There was still meta over the top through balls. There were so many different ways of scoring that every player you played actually had a different play style. Every player I'm playing now is obviously using some of the meta formations, and yes, of course, I love posting tactics to help you guys out, but because there's only one way of scoring right now with low drivens, everyone plays the same. You're not playing a defensive player one game, the next player you're playing a counter-attack player, the next player you're playing a tiki-taka player. No, everyone's got the same play style because yeah, they've enabled it where there's only a few ways of scoring, compared to back then where there's hundreds of ways of scoring a goal. Much more like real life football. I still stand by the fact that I think it's very concerning that EA tweeting out asking for what features to be removed from the game. That should be their job. They should be good enough to develop a football game that they don't have to ask the community every other week. Should we take out goalkeeper movement? Should we remove player locks? They should know that from the get-go.
I would say for this right here in particular, that for EA, they're trying to like be transparent with the community, and that's why they're asking that question. I think if they weren't trying to be transparent with the community, they wouldn't care. They wouldn't ask that question. They wouldn't have polls if they weren't trying to be transparent. But in order to like appeal to us, the community, and trying to act like, hey, we care, we're listening to you, we want you to tell us what you want the game to be and how they can be played. So here's these questions. And that's what they're trying to freaking do. They have their own ideas. I guarantee you EA already has their own plans and their own ideas of what they want to do with individual mechanics, but they want to make sure that if they do those things, that we, the community, won't freaking like lose our shit.
Now, the next glaringly obvious thing we need to talk about is, of course, how many patches they are releasing. It's gone to the point now that this gameplay is actually a completely different game to the launch day of this game. It's only been 2 months, and we've honestly had about 7 or 8 different patches to gameplay already. I never used to be the one who believed, oh, EA are releasing a great game at launch, they're going to ruin it with a new patch.
No, I keep using R6 as an example. I don't even play, but it's a good example to use. Unless it's like an emergency patch, you really don't see like big patches in R6 until a new season happens. So like right now we're about to go to a new season R6. That's when they're gonna have a big patch for the new season. After that, it won't be another big patch until the next season. And like I said, this is an emergency situation where it's like, okay, we gotta deal with this right the fuck now. So I do agree that EA's patches getting too freaking often. As I said in A9 skills video, they should wait at least 4 to maybe 6 months to see how the community is dealing with the game, to then decide about patching something, because that way you at least allow the community to like get used to the game itself. Then you go from there. You still do hot fixes to like fix bugs and glitches, but have like an actual like patch or like update that like changes how things work drastically. You should let the initial game sit for like 4 months to 6 months and then go from there, instead of just immediately doing a patch every few weeks, because a lot of these patches are happening as like a knee-jerk reaction, and it happens because, again, that magical word community keeps complaining about individual things, and you're listening to a lot of people who are kind of giving you an opinion as a result of losing games, not giving you an opinion as a result of they're playing the game and this is how the things are working in the game. I would say 8 times out of 10, every opinion you hear of this game by the community, not creators or pro players, by like the core community, are people who are just giving you a response after they lost a game, or after they lost a string of games, or after they got. Because I'll tell you right now, I'll be in like Twitch chats, I'll see people going like, I'm in freaking Div 6 and it's so freaking sweaty. I can't stand this game. This game is trash. It's like I'm playing for freaking money on the line. It's like that. It's not ignoring everything else. That's not a result of the game being bad. That's a result of people have gotten so good at this game over time, to where even down to Division 7, Division 6, Division 8 has competitive people. People are very competitive, and it's so easy to build a team where you're going to be faced, even if you're in Div 9, you face some crazy freaking teams. So it just comes down to the formation, the tactics, and how he will play the game itself that dictates the outcomes of these games. And then on top of that, you then have the gameplay itself, whether it be the server being fucky, the delays, things like that, that also play a role in the effect of these games.
It right. But this year, honestly, they actually did ruin the gameplay. Think about how much more fun you had at launch playing this game. Yes, obviously, there were maybe 15 goals a game. Could that be argued too many? Or was it simply the fact that none of us were used to defending yet? I firmly believe we actually had a good game at the launch of FC26. I'm not shying away from that. EA, for me, released a quite good game. I think it was better than last year. I would say that. There were no speed boost, there were loads of goals, but also if you were very good at defending, you were actually rewarded. Now, did we all cry about defending being really bad? We've all been there. I myself said, oh, you know what? Right now, I suck at defending. I can't defend. I've said that so many times.
And as I said in A9 skills video, they listened to the community, and here we are right now. We asked for this. We didn't notice what it would turn into, but we asked for this. And as I said in that video, developers don't work in a mindset of like a small tweak. They work in a mindset of either nerf it to the ground or give it the world's craziest buff, like little slider. They either go far left or they go far right. So it's no in-betweens with them. Then over time, they'll gradually move it towards like into a sweet spot. And when that sweet spot is usually like halfway through the game cycle, 6 months. Last year, it was January, had that January update, and everyone's like, oh my God, this is amazing. So we might get that freaking next week where it's like a big ass patch that comes out and it's like, oh, this is great. EA, if you see any of these videos, you need to like just give whatever patch you come out with time to sink in, because there's no other games out there that come out with patches as often as you do. You need to let the fucking the patch sit and that patch will be the meta.
Launch. But a few weeks went by, there were no patches, and lo and behold, I was improving at defending. And then, of course, they released the patches upon patches. And after so many patches now, this game has become unrecognizable. And if you play even just one weekend league, it's not only a sweat fest every single game. We touched upon that on my last EA rant video last week. That's not the only problem. The problem now is, with every game feeling the exact same, and not playing unique playstyles every game, it is becoming mind-numbing now to play this game on a more competitive level. Whereas back in FIFA 17, you could play 40 games a weekend and you're ready to go again the next weekend because you're not going insane playing the same gameplay and pretty much identical matches every game. Low driven, Claudia Pina. That is all we're seeing, and it's driving the community insane. Now, touching back though on the launch gameplay, you know the gameplay was good though. When my good man Nick released a video titled EA Cooked with FC26, a lot. When people are making videos like that, that is a really good sign. Obviously, the problem was at launch, people don't want to be patient with gameplay. They wanted that help with defending, and now because obviously so many players cried about defending, we're now at a stage on this gameplay where everything is done for us, and even scoring a goal now inside the box, getting past defenders is harder than ever because EA kept patching this gameplay. This game would be in a much better state if they literally were patient, kept the original launch gameplay. You've got to think about it. You've got to be confident in that first launch. It's got to be played enough. It's got to be tested enough. There's obviously been a beta. There's been an alpha. They have to feel confident in this gameplay in order to release it. But then as soon as it comes out and about 2 weeks in, they patch the whole game. And now you've got a game where you've got the same experience every single match. That's not what football is about. That's not what Ultimate Team is about. Every day we stream the game now on Twitch, I do see a lot of you guys saying, Matt, I've uninstalled the game. I don't want to play this game now. It's too competitive. Every game is the same. There's not really any creativity. I've never seen like this before. And that's saying something because FC25 was also...
You want to know why everything is competitive? The community. There's nothing that EA did or nothing EA can do to change the fact that this game is competitive. Best that you could do is what I said in the A9 skills video, where I said there should be daily rewards for just playing the game, you know, scoring a certain number of goals, get a certain number of like plays, not even like wins, just plays, can guarantee you freaking like an 82.5, things like that. But even to that extent, everyone wants to freaking win. So by playing the game, it's going to be competitive. And that's not just this game, it's all multiplayer games. Multiplayer games are inherently competitive because you want to win. Even for someone who, you know, you have fun regardless, you still want to win. When someone goes play Call of Duty, they want to win. They Battlefield, they want to win. They play Yu-Gi-Oh, they want to win. They play Pokemon, they want to win. They go play any game that has multiplayer, they want to win. That inherently makes it competitive. At the same time, just via the fact that esports exists and so does content creation, people want to have good games and be successful because they want to be able to upload clips to TikTok or wherever and showcase to the world that they're good at the game, which means people will be more competitive.
So not loved by most of the community with all the speed boosts going on, but this on a different level. At least F25 though had a bit more about it when scoring a goal. There was more creativity. There was a lot more different goals. Now it's the exact same. Think about it. When do you ever score a goal outside the box? I haven't scored one in weeks. Now I did tweet about this last night and I did say this. In FC26, do you feel like you see the same goals in every game?
I will say when it comes to like that question, in my video that I did today for a review of how Hirschfeld and Gabby Portino, I scored a finesse shot from top to box with Gabby. And the reason why I don't score a lot of those goals is because there's just not enough space. You know, I'm way more likely to take a shot from my top to box when I have space. But because of how the defensive AI is, I don't have the space to like take those kind of shots. You know, so that's why I don't take a lot of like it's 24, not even 25. It's 24. I took a lot of outside the box finesse shots with Alice Morgan, Sophia Wilson, and Rodman, because I have more space. So it's not even like really like low drivens that are the issue. It's just the fact that you can't create space because of like just how easy it is to like for the AI to like correct your opponent's ability to defend, and how easy it is to close that gap. It's very, very easy to close the gap in this game when it comes to like, let's say you beat a defender out and you now have damn near a 1v1 with the keeper, but instead of being able to like, you know, take that 1v1 shot, the gap is already closed for the defender and now they're right there on your ass. They're on you, so you can't try to take a outside the box finesse shot. You can't even try to take any other kind of shot. Personally, I rarely take low drivens. I don't take it if I feel like I have to, if I see them. But for the most part, I swear a lot of like inside the box finesse shots, and that's where a lot of, you know, it's just, you know, tiki taka, pass, hit B, score a goal. So I don't even like really score like any kind of goal other than just hitting B. Like most of my goals I score are just me hitting B.
Couldn't believe the amount of different goals I was seeing. Do you notice that too, or are we just too meta-driven now? Straight away, Jambo replied, when I used to compete, people had a distinct style. Some possession, some crazy pressing. Every game is the same now, you can't tell a difference. You can only score low drivens and finesse shots, that's why. Yeah, I myself score 75% in the same way, so boring. What have EA done to crossing and finishing on the volley, and heading absolutely ruined the game? He makes a great point. When do you guys ever score volleys in Ultimate Team now? In FIFA 14, FIFA 13, even FIFA 16, you would score so many different goals, it was awesome to see. It made every game fresh, which is what this game needs badly. My man here though did say, it's boring, but my team helps me enjoy it. And to be fair, that is a very cool team. 3 at the back, I respect it. They need to start from scratch. They created an awful game which they're trying to fix constantly. Unfortunately, it won't work. The game is broken. AI rubbish. One way to score, no headers, long shots, speed, doesn't matter anymore, and not to mention lots of useless playstyles.
So when I was saying like for this comment, he's saying like you can't do long shots or headers. I feel like headers is its own thing, but for long shots, it goes back to the lack of space. You can score long shots, but just don't have the space to take them. Like a lot of my shots that I scored with Busquets while I've been using him, with Hal Hirschfeld in today's video, were long shots. A lot of the goals that I've scored over the last 3 years with Patrick Vieira have been long shots. The reason why they're not consistent though is because there's just no space. You're not taking a long shot when there's someone like right on you because you don't want to waste a chance to score. So when you think you have that space, then that gap gets closed, you just pass the ball to somebody else because it's like, all right, well, I can't take the long shot because there's a defender right the fuck here. So hit A to pass, now just score a freaking finesse shot at GG's, you know? When it comes to speed, that goes back to the fact that it's very, very easy for the defense to close the gap. And I think that's EA compensating for the fact that inherently defenders are slower than attackers. So that since they're compensated for that fact that defenders are slower than attackers, they allow that gap to be closed. Like, there's a lot of times that I make videos and I'm complaining about how I have an open run at net, but somehow, some way, my striker who has 90 fucking pace can't outrun this center back who has freaking 80 pace. Even though I have the, because they pull the player out of position. Both play out of position, so I have the advantage both. Like, I'm not doing any dribble moves, just holding the sprint button with the ball. I have a gap here to run through, but somehow, some way, that gap gets closed, and now I'm shoulder to shoulder with the center back, even though I had at least a five step advantage ahead of them. If you like playing Madden and your own line opens up a hole for you as when you're running back, and you're going through that hole. And then while you're getting ready, you see the daylight. You see nothing but green ahead of you. You're like, all right, let's tuck this bitch and just run to that freaking end zone. The 30, the 20, the 30, the 10, touch. That's your brain thinking. And before you get there, somehow, some way, Vince Wilfork is on your ass shoulder to shoulder. You're like, what the fuck? How the hell is Vince Wilfork running side by side on me? I'm fucking goddamn Adrian Peterson. You know, I'm jetting up this motherfucker. How the hell is Vince Wilfork, who's the size of a goddamn H2 Hummer, running side by side with me? This makes no fucking sense. Now, it happens in real sports, and there's plenty of times where there's been a guaranteed touchdown where a safety or a cornerback or even like a freaking linebacker catches up, but not a freaking goddamn defensive tackle. So if you're playing FC and you hit that gap and you see like a left back or a right back catch it to you, you're like, okay, makes sense. They're basically just wingers. But what is a freaking center back? You're like, excuse you?
And he does have a very valid point. Does speed actually matter now in Ultimate Team? I remember having players like Mayuka in FIFA 12, FIFA 13, Aubameyang, for example, and they would get past players due to their speed if they were through on goal. However, players like Pacho now are so much quicker than Mbappe in game, it makes Mbappe's pace really irrelevant. To me, Mbappe should be flying past Pacho if he's at least a step ahead, but that's not what EA want to do, and I don't know why. Another really good point the community's picked up is this.
You don't know why? Compensation. They're compensating for people freaking being bad at the game. That's why it exists. It exists to compensate for people. If you're bad at defending, EA wants to help you defend. They were like, okay, we understand that y'all are bad at defending, so we're going to allow these people who have 80 pace to catch you who have 90 pace because y'all are bad at defending. We gotta help y'all out. Instead of y'all getting good at defending to like prevent allowing those gaps, we'll help you out by having like just magic AI speed weird defenders.
Are playstyles ruining gameplay, and are they too important? And now, when you really think about it, you actually don't really care about stats anywhere near as much as we used to, compared to looking at playstyles first. Even me now, I was always obsessed with stats. I always used to cover FIFA myths with stats and like crazy stats. And even I'm now not really checking the stats anywhere near as quick as playstyles. Are they too important? One of my best friends here from the FIFA scene ever is Mav. He always has great points. And he tweeted this: playstyles have to go. If you don't see it now, you'll see it. Definitely give it a watch, guys. It's a really good watch. But he's basically emphasizing that playstyles now have so much more importance than stats, and they're too overpowered. Do you guys agree with Mav here, or is he wrong with this one? I think he's right. I think there's so much emphasis on playstyles. It's unbelievable. And they've
I think
really
when it comes to playstyles, the biggest thing you notice about them is when you don't have them. It's less that they exist and more about how important they are to have when you don't have them. For example, if you try to do a ping pass right now without the ping pass plus or ping pass playstyle like silver, the ball just freaking gets flung and you're just like, what? My teammate, my player who I'm trying to pass to is about as close as me to this monitor. How the hell can I not ping the ball to him? I don't have ping pass playstyle. That's why. That's the issue of playstyles. The fact that they exist isn't a problem. It's the fact that if you don't have them, you can't do basic shit. I don't have finesse shot, so I can't take a basic finesse shot inside the freaking box. And that shouldn't be how it works. Like, the playstyle itself should be like basically how a chem style works. It makes what already exists better. So if you have ping pass, the stats should be why your ping pass should be as good as it's going to be. The playstyle should be a complement to your stats. So where it's like, okay, now your ping pass is more accurate. You got a plus, even more accurate than that. But you still be able to freaking do a ping pass without needing to have the play style. The ball shouldn't just bolt across a freaking field on a simple freaking touch pass.
From stats to the point now, I would say most players aren't even too bothered about a mad finishing stat. If that player is not low driven, you're not going to use them. What do EA Sports though need to do in order to revive this game and stop players leaving this game quicker than ever to go and play games like Fortnite? Arc Raiders is a blast to play. You got to think about it. When people are picking up a game like Arc Raiders, having a great time, having a great laugh, that's what we're missing right now in Ultimate Team. Pro Clubs is always a blast to play, but even that could do with more on the game. What do we need to do to bring the fun element back to Ultimate Team? How do they make it less one-dimensional? How do they make it more fun to play in a nutshell? Comment down below how EA should fix it.
Well, my answer to you, Matt, is they gotta, I wouldn't say revert because you can't really revert a patch. But they gotta go back to how the game was when it first came out. But at the same time, and this is going to sound unfun, but you gotta remove tactics. You gotta remove tactics, and here's why. When you give players the option to freaking like play ratty, they're going to play ratty. You can't appeal to people's nature of like fun or football. If you give people an option to be ratty, they're going to be ratty. Just how it is. You get an option. They don't care about being attacking. No. They want to be as defensive as possible so they don't lose the game. Because at the end of the day, what people care about is winning and losing. Being ratty equals a lower chance of freaking losing. So they're going to find the most successful way to do that, which is being a rat. Remove tactics. Remove it. They have a feature in the game where you can have automatic freaking formations and tactics based on the manager you assign. Do it that way. You actually increase the value of managers. If each manager had one formation that they can play, and it comes with their own set tactics, you would increase the importance of having of the managers. Like, okay, well, I want to play a 4-2-3-1. I need to go freaking buy Hansi Flick. Things like that. But I love being able to be attacking with my tactics, but it is a problem, when it comes to the down end of it. At the same time, the way you can fix this game is having better attacking AI will go a long way. Even when it comes to like how the defense AI is, having better attacking AI will go a long way. Because if the AI for attacking is better, you won't even notice how good the defending AI is, because the attacking AI will find a way to make a smart football decision that allows you to exploit the defense in some way. Be it making a diagonal run without you having to freaking send on a run, be it coming back for the ball, no matter what it is, to be able to find a way, because the AI is just smarter. Because at the end of the day, other than just rat tactics, the issue is also just defending AI. You can fix that by just making the attacking AI better. I'm a fan of the thought process that instead of nerfing things, you just make the other thing better. instead of making difficult AI worse, just make attack AI better. Just go from there. Anyways, good video. It'll be linked in the description box below. We'll put the link into the Twitch chat as well. That burrito's hella spicy, so I had to clear my freaking throat. The spice kind of caught up on me. But one thing I was about his video, and one thing he didn't do, he didn't blame a gender. The last video we watched, he blamed an entire gender for why the game is the way it is. Even if he didn't mean to do it, he doubled down by mentioning it like more than once. Which kind of tells me that he didn't mean to blame one gender for like why the game's bad. Whereas Matt, he mentioned Pena, but he didn't say that women are the reason why the game's bad. I'm gonna leave it at that.